news here.
Yes, I know.
And then the headline you see is "Holy Sheep" in the New York Daily News. 4 years, $71 million offer sheet with Tim Hardaway Jr. Knicks already have Courtney Lee on their roster. What do you think of their decision to make Hardaway this offer, a guy that they drafted, now they're trying to bring back?
I think they're doing everything that Phil Jackson didn't do during his tenure. This is the first post-Phil move, so to speak. It's not a huge move. I think they're still in many ways not in disarray, but I don't think anything is going to really start moving for them roster-wise. And what I mean by that is, what do you do with Carmelo Anthony until they interview David Griffin, the GM candidate, former Cleveland Cavaliers GM, and get somebody in that position to help Steve Mills decide what to do with this franchise and James Dolan.
Hardaway's gotten better each year. What do you think of him as a player?
I like him. I like him. I just don't think he's a game changer, Jay. I think he's one of these guys that if he's your fifth best starter on a playoff team, that's a decent team. If he's your third best player, I don't think you're going anywhere.
It's remarkable when we talk about the terms, too, and the money that he gets a $71 million offer sheet for 4 years. But that's the way of the NBA and locking these guys down and making sure you get role players here just in case to save face here. This Melo decision, how critical is it for the Knicks moving forward the next 3 months to figure this out if they don't figure it out?
I don't see them being any kind of contender even in the Eastern Conference, believe it or not, this year. So I don't think they have to do it right away. I think they're going to get some takers at some point. The biggest thing is, and I spoke to a Knicks official yesterday, they have not heard from Carmelo Anthony. Everybody says that he wants to waive a no-trade clause and possibly go to Cleveland or Houston, which is still a mind-boggling thing because he didn't get along with Mike D'Antoni when he was in New York. But I just don't think it's going to be as paramount as everybody thinks because, you know, Carmelo Anthony still is an asset. He's not a liability for them. And if I'm them, I try to sell them on, hey, you're here with Porzingis. Phil was probably your main problem. Why don't you try and stick around and see if you can get somebody here?
In another offense, too.
Yeah, in another offense. That would be my thought. And people in New York, they have a love-hate relationship with Carmelo. They wish he would play one end of the floor, but they love that he plays the other.
That is true. He plays the other really well.
He does.
And Mike Wise is going to be back in the 9 a.m. hour.
Welcome back. Some news from the NBA Thursday that didn't involve max deals. And, you know, come to think of it, for this story, this logo, it just isn't going to work. Do we have anything? I'm wondering, do we have anything? Yeah, that'll do. 39-year-old Dirk Nowitzki agreed to a 2-year deal with Dallas, and 40-year-old Vince Carter is coming back on a 1-year deal with Sacramento. Both are returning for their 20th seasons. They'll be the 2 oldest players in the league. Nat Hickey is the oldest all time at 45. Here now, an 8-minute feature on the greatest set shots by 40-year-old men who could once dunk. Or something else. Like maybe something along the lines of this. Dirk and Vince Carter, the only 2 active players remaining from the 1998 draft, and their longevity has paid off. Both rank in the top 3 among active scoring leaders. Dirk is 6th on the all-time list, VC 22nd. By the way, he's 638 points shy of passing Jerry West, the logo, to move into the top 20 in NBA history. How about Dirk's Mavs in Summer League action Thursday, taking on the Pistons? By the way, Vince Carter was broadcasting this one. And then Lorenzo Brown did this.
5 seconds left in the third. Brown. Oh! He put Ding in the hoop!
That is how you earn a 50 from me right there.
And coming from a dude who put together the sickest dunk contest exhibition of all time, that's not bad. Overtime, Pistons down 3. Inbounding the rock. They get it to Luke Kennard. Got it. Now, we got to break down the play here. Keith Hornsby is the son of singer Bruce Hornsby. He's trying to defend Kennard, but listen to Mavs coach Mike Weiner yelling about Kennard. Kennard, no! He got it, nailed the big one. He had a team-high 24. 6.7 seconds to go. Jonathan Motley inside the paint. Turns out to be the game winner. Dallas went 5-0 in the Orlando Summer League. Motley at 18-10. A Motley crew, to say the least. They win it 83-81. So, you know, Gordon Hayward burned Utah to join Brad Stevens in Boston. Thursday, the Jazz and Celtics played. Winner against Jay Crowder. And, boy, they're not entirely forgiving in Salt Lake about Gordon's stayward. Nope, cross it out. Ainge, another reason to hate BYU. And then we will never forget you, number 20, Howard. Maybe the most creative out of all of them. Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell. These two went at it. First-round picks both. Mitchell, some move, and then it's Tatum's turn. Backing him down. That is like shades of Dirk right there. Tatum didn't shoot it well throughout. He was 4 of 12 from the field, but he had 12 points and 12 rebounds. Now, fourth quarter, tied at 60. Tatum, 3rd overall pick. Mitchell, 13th overall pick, guarding him. Watch Mitchell poke it away, and then a little extracurricular stuff going on in the Summer League in July. I dig it. Ensuing possession, Mitchell laughs last.
One-on-one. The spinner. Inside and the hammer. Julian Wright from Donovan Mitchell. And Tatum was on his backside. Oh my. Play of this week.
That got the attention of Joe Ingles, huh? He got busy on Twitter. Donovan, hand clap. Why not? Julian Wright finished it off. Someone call an orthopedic surgeon. Jazz win it 68-65. Mitchell had 8 points. The best in the NBA news, breaking biz, is our pal Woj. You know, the Spurs may have lost out on Andre Iguodala, but Plan B, I think, is a really, really good fit for both San Antonio and for Rudy Gay. How did this deal go down?
Rudy Gay, over the course of free agency, spent some time with Oklahoma City, Utah, and then the Spurs. And the Spurs tried really hard here over the last 72 hours to get him to take that mid-level exception. Tonight they did, and for the Spurs to get a player of that caliber, now he's coming off an Achilles injury, and it may take some time. I talked to R.C. Buford, the Spurs GM, tonight. He said, listen, with the modern rehab, they have great confidence. He's 30 years old, but that kind of a talent was not available at that price anywhere else in this free agency. And they saw the relief, the joy with Rudy Gay tonight when he went and signed that contract and he was now part of the Spurs, and everyone in the room noticed it.
Well, he's done a share of losing over the years in Sacramento. Now, of course, he joins the Spurs team, where, again, the sky's the limit always with them. Kelly Olynyk is Canadian, which means he's dealt with his fair share of cold winters, Adrian, but he's now about as far away from that as possible here. Why did the Heat make Olynyk a priority?
Well, his ability to shoot the ball, spread the floor. Kelly Olynyk, we reported a 4-year, around $50 million deal. He may have had a couple things that would have paid him a little more. What sold it for him, he was at his agent Greg Lawrence's house in L.A. yesterday, got on the phone with Eric Spoelstra, and just hit it off with Spoelstra in a way that he hung up the phone and said, that's where I want to play, get a deal done there.
Interesting. So he heads to Miami now, a team that swung and missed on Gordon Hayward, but they land Kelly Olynyk here. Meantime, one of the most interesting signings of the day on Thursday, my buddy Fran Fraschilla has been singing the praises of this next guy for years and years. We want to introduce America to Milos Teodosic, Serbian point guard with a whole lot of creativity. He's impressed at the Rio Olympics. Boy, did he ever, helping Serbia get to the gold medal game, 2016 Olympics. How about the creativity? Gorgeous feed between DeMarcus Cousins and Paul George. And then Teodosic, creative off the bounce as well, into the lane. That may have been the pass of the Olympics to Bogdan Bogdanovic, who knocks it down. Serbia, again, would lose in the gold medal game, but taking home the silver was almost as good as taking gold for that nation. He played for CSKA Moscow in the EuroLeague Championship 2016. He's such a creative passer. Got the great Euro beard going as well. FIBA European Player of the Year in 2010, and then again in 2016. And then we're gonna let you see the best of Milos's mixtape. Here he goes, one-handed passes. Boom. Won a 2014 silver medal at the FIBA World Cup, averaged 16 points, 7 assists last season in Moscow. He's creative. He's electric. He's exciting. He's coming to the L.A. Clippers. A point guard with a whole lot of creativity, Woj. He ends up in L.A. Why the Clippers?
They really targeted him. And Patrick Beverley, I talked to, he's the new Clipper guard, came in the Chris Paul deal. Patrick Beverley and Teodosic played together in Greece 7 years ago. Then they played against each other in Russia. Patrick Beverley said to me today, he is the best passer in the NBA right now. And also, Beverley also said, I've got to change my hotel alias now. He went by Milos Teodosic. And so he's got to come up with a new one.
Yeah, exactly. Like
maybe Chris Paul.
There you go. That, by the way, I mean, is that obviously no one's going to be Chris Paul there in Los Angeles, but how's the fit work with what they have?
Well, listen, he's not going to be a superstar in the NBA. He is fun to watch. He is a talented guy. He's not going to defend at all. As great as Patrick, he's a good compliment for Patrick Beverley, who's a tenacious defender. He'll be a good player for them, and the highlights are going to be great. You'll see some great lobs, but this isn't a transformative talent. But he's great on the mixtape. He's great in the highlights, and like you will get your money's worth watching him play every night.
Maybe a little Ricky Rubio flair to him.
Absolutely.
We shall see exactly. Great stuff always. Adrian Wojnarowski hanging us here on SportsCenter.
Hey guys, not sure you heard, but Thursday is the new Friday, so we got must-see